from October.
Now let's discuss this with Mr. Lawrence Ma. He is the director of the China Law Society and chairman of the Hong Kong Legal Exchange Foundation. Mr. Ma, thank you for joining us. Now tell us more about these 14 members and how do they represent Macau's society?
These 14 members are directly elected, and some of them comes from the business and commerce sector. Some of them comes from the employer and employee sector. Some are professionals, social services and education sector, and there are some who comes from the representing the art, culture, and sports sector.
Now, Mr. Ma, what will be the main tasks for the new legislative body?
Well, of course, the Legislative Council or legislative body is to make law. And the law that Macau has to make, it has to complement its development. There is a couple of days ago, you will all know that the national government has come up with a policy for Macau. It is a national development plan. Now that plan has not only taken into account Macau, but also a large island called the Hengqin Island, which is a very large island, about 100 kilometers square kilometers next to Macau. Now these two territory would have to is now being placed under a strategic positioning that in order to diversify Macau's development, the national government has a plan in place for Macau. It has 4 initiatives. The first initiative is to have Macau and Hengqin to be advanced to become the pioneer of high technology research and development and advanced technology manufacturing center. The second initiative is for Macau and Hengqin to jointly become a center for Chinese medicine and herbal development and innovation. The third initiative is for them to become an art culture center or convention center of art and culture. And the fourth initiative is for it to become a financial hub for China. So these 4 initiatives has to be implemented, and the Legislative Council would have to make law to have these policy fully implemented.
So can we expect new laws to promote the development of the city's economy?
Yes, because the Macau, as we all know, is a city which very much so focus on its entertainment industry. But the entertainment industry has been so much too focused and has not been diversified. And in order for Macau to be more vibrant, and instead of fully reliant upon only one industry, which is pretty dangerous for any society, it will be important for Macau to develop a diversified industry, and the central government has very well planned it for Macau.
Now, let me just expand on your point on diversification. How can the legislative body promote a diversified economy, which you just mentioned, and contribute to the central government's plan to boost cooperation between Guangdong and Macau?
Yeah. Now, one of the examples I can cite is tariff. I mean, Macau maintains its own tariff, and therefore goods going past into Macau has to pay a tariff very different from the mainland. Now, it is said that in order for the tariff to be lower and Macau to be more competitive, its tariff has to be lower, and that measure has to be done by legislative acts. So the legislature, when the government promotes or has a new custom and exile policy which lowers the tariff duty, that has to go through the Macau Legislative Council for it to become law. So that's an example how the legislature will be able to implement the policy or complement the current Macau government policy.
All right, Mr. Ma, a lot to think about. Thank you for your perspectives and insights.